Hi, my name is Daniel Odio. I'm the owner of Drodio Real Estate Inc. You can see our website, drodio.com. I'm going to tell you today a little bit about how I would buy a house if I were buying one as a realtor, which means that I would do a lot of things differently from what most home buyers do. The first thing that you should know, and oh, by the way, here I am, picture of me. Okay, so the first thing that I would do is I would want you to know about how agents get paid. The reason I started Jordia Realty was because I found that a lot of agents were trying to show me houses that they were getting paid more on. And what I mean when I say that is there are certain properties that compensate agents more than others. Like you can see, for example, this property has a $5,000 advance commission fee, and this property down here agents $50,000 commission for acceptable contracts. So there's a lot of things motivating agents to show you certain properties that may be different than the properties that are best for you as the client. And I'm not trying to say that agents are not ethical, because I think as a group agents have a worse rap than they deserve. But there are a couple bad apples out there. But the culture and the tradition behind real estate tends to be such that the traditional realtor sees their job as showing you certain homes, and a lot of times those homes happen to be the ones that are making the agents the most money. So when I started the company, I had a completely different perspective. I wanted buyers to be able to do their own research. So we embarked on a lot of technology creation to make that possible. And we have several sites that let buyers do that. And when you go to our front page, you can see Bird's Eye Search is one of them, the Best Home Search Ever is another, and Listing Notice is another. So I'll tell you a little bit about those in a minute, because my goal is for you as the buyer to be empowered with knowledge and information and to be able to make your own decisions. And I see my role as a counselor, a champion for you, someone to help you negotiate a contract. But I don't necessarily see my role as a taxi driver. Our best clients are the ones that want to start their search on the internet and want to get familiar with neighborhoods or areas on their own and want to take their time doing it. So we fully encourage that. Whereas the traditional realtor, I always say that the traditional agent might be kind of lording over you and trying to show you only specific properties. That's not what we do. We're all about empowering you to take your time, do your research, get comfortable with what's going on, and then when you're ready, we'll jump in and we'll show you homes that you want to see. We'll negotiate contracts for you. And by the way, prices are very negotiable right now. So there is a lot of value in having a good realtor who can negotiate 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, even I've negotiated $90,000 off asking prices. The first thing that you need to do, though, is to talk to a loan officer. And so I made 5 steps on our website, the 5 steps to buying a home. And in the first step, learning how much you can afford, we have some monthly mortgage calculators, which are very useful. I'll click on the first one here, and I'll show you what I mean. And this is not a tool that we made, but it's just a tool that we like and that we believe is very useful. So let's say that you're thinking about buying a $500,000 house. And you can see here on a fixed mortgage, the monthly payment is about $3,100 a month. At an interest only payment, and this is going to be a little low for now, so let's put it at the same rate, 6.25 or maybe even 6.5. Hold on one second here. Your payment is going to be $2,700 a month. So understanding the difference between what type of loan you want, whether you want an ARM, which is an adjustable rate mortgage, or an interest only loan, that type of thing is very important. And that should be your first step. So in order for you to talk to a loan officer, let me go back here. I have several loan officers that we trust. Now, there are plenty out there, and I don't get any compensation for recommending certain loan officers, but here is a list of loan officers that we trust. Risha, Patrick, and some others. Any of these loan officers will do an excellent job helping you. By the way, we also have a place here for you to learn your credit score. And if you're like most people, you'll only know your credit score if it's especially good or especially bad. It's on an 800-point scale. Most people's credit will be in the 700s somewhere. Having a credit score above 680 is strong, but if you might own multiple properties, or if you haven't been paying credit cards on time, that sort of thing, your credit score could be much lower. That is probably the single biggest determining factor as to how much you're going to pay a month, no matter what kind of loan you choose. And in fact, a low credit score is going to limit you to only being able to choose certain types of loans. So this site, myfico.com, which is independent from us but we like, will help you learn what your credit score is and raise it. And also, I know, for example, Risha Badami through Countrywide has a program where they'll help you raise your credit score. If there's incorrect items, they have a department that will go through those items and help fix them. So that can take several months. You need to do this at the very beginning. Talk to a loan officer, learn what your credit score is, and learn how to raise it. What I usually say is that a lot of people, and I wrote this here, try to buy a house like they buy a car, which is you look at the car, it looks sexy, it looks fast, but really the loan is what drives it. Just like the loan is the engine of the car, it's what really drives the process. And so you should really get an approval letter from a lender before you look at any homes. You don't know how many clients I have that will start by wanting to look at houses, but they won't have been approved for a loan yet, which means that they're usually looking either too high or too low. So it's very important to do that correctly. Now, what I do is I encourage you to find two or three houses that you like. So, using our tools, like for example, Bird's Eye Search, which is a mashup with Google Maps and the MLS. We search the entire MLS. Right now, we're searching 81,000 properties, and using Google Maps, we allow you to see visually what houses are on the market and where. And I have a training video at drodio.com, and then you go to buyers, and then you click on watch our video tutorials. I have a training video on how Bird's Eye Search works, and I also have one on how the Best Home Search Ever works. And the Best Home Search Ever is another tool that we have. We call it the best home search ever because it allows you to search by things that no other website allows you to search by. For example, if you want a house that has a deck, you can look for the word deck in the listing notes, and we're the only search tool out there, not even realtors can do this, where you can only search properties that have decks. And then we can see, for example, we'll just pick one of these. Here's a house, and we can look for the word deck here, and you can see it's talking about the deck. So that's very useful as well. But what I recommend you do is you pick several homes that you think you might like, and we all actually have a free GPS machine that we loan people. So the ideal way to buy a house when you're working with us is to use these tools, get comfortable, talk to a loan officer, borrow our GPS machine, drive around. We give you the addresses so that you can drive yourself around, get to know some neighborhoods. We're happy to go with you, absolutely happy to go with you, but we find that most people want the freedom to do this on their own and they like being empowered with this knowledge. And then once you find a couple houses you think you like or a neighborhood you like, get us involved in the process. And that allows us to be very efficient because we're opening houses up for you that you know you want to see, instead of doing what I call playing taxi driver and just driving you around every weekend for 6 months. We figure if we can give you access to information, you can do that on your own. Now, the next part is actually making an offer, and I have another video tutorial on making lowball offers. I find that people either buy houses because they love the property. That's what most people do. They fall in love with the property, or if you're doing it logically, you will find two or three that you like, and you'll make lowball offers on those. So if a house is selling for $600,000, maybe we'd make an offer at 550 or something like that. And those lowball offers allow you to make a couple offers in rapid succession on a couple different properties. And when a seller counters, instead of countering back, you just move on to the next property. And you see which seller is truly the most flexible. There's a lot of strategy behind this, and as your realtor, there's a lot that I do. For example, when I'm calling the listing agents, I let them know that you're looking at several properties and that you're probably not going to counter back. And so that really makes the listing agent realize that they have to come back with either accepted or a very aggressive counter, or else you're just going to move on. So here's a couple tips on buying a house from us. Last thing that I'll show you is listing notice, which is very valuable, I think, for people especially that are just starting the search process. Listing notice allows you to submit an inquiry here, and that inquiry will will come to us, and then we'll check the MLS once every hour for any properties that match your criteria. So, like for example, if you're looking for a house in Herndon and your price range is 500K and you want three plus bedrooms, that sort of thing. That will allow you to get alerts once an hour for any properties that come on the MLS as soon as they come on the market, and we give you the address, so it's very easy for you to just drive by. Let me give you my information, which is right here. Daniel Odio, I'm the owner. There's my number. You can call me anytime. I'm always working, so call me at midnight if you'd like. If you have any questions, I really don't mind. Here's my email address. And lastly, just a little bit about us. We've been in business since 2003. Been featured in a lot of publications for our progressive use of technology and really a different approach to helping you buy a home than most firms have. You can see some of the different companies here, and there's a shot of me from the Wall Street Journal. So let me answer any questions you have. Just give me a call, and I hope we can help you find a home. Thank you.